Have you ever felt like life pushes you against the ropes, as if everything conspires to knock you down and there's no way out? Maybe you've faced problems at work, family conflicts, financial difficulties, or even invisible attacks that wear down your heart. In those moments, it's normal to feel fear, insecurity, and the temptation to give up. But today, I want to tell you something that can change everything. No matter what you face, with God by your side, no enemy can defeat you. Yes, you heard that right. None. Not doubt, not sickness, not opposition from people, not even problems that seem impossible. All of them bow before the power of God living in you. The good news is that you don't have to fight alone. The Bible assures us in Isaiah 54:17, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and you will refute every tongue that rises against you in judgment." This promise isn't just for some, it's for you, here and now. And it becomes real when you place your full trust in the Lord. In this video, we're going to explore how to recognize the spiritual battle we face every day, how to understand that the enemy's attacks are not invincible, and how to apply biblical and practical strategies to stand firm, confident, and victorious. Stay with me until the end, because what you'll hear today can transform your perspective and give you the certainty that no matter how big the adversity seems, God has already given you the victory. This is a message that not only inspires, but also equips your faith to face every challenge with confidence and hope. Recognizing the battles of life. We all face struggles. Some are visible, others silent, but none of them are too small for God. Maybe your enemy isn't a person, but rather the doubt that paralyzes you, the illness that wears down your body, the financial problems that steal your peace, or even the negative thoughts that rob you of rest. Sometimes we feel alone, as if no one understands us and our strength isn't enough. That's exactly where the enemy wants us to believe we're defeated and ready to give up. But the truth is that every battle has a purpose, and every war already has a victor. That victory is God. The Bible teaches us that every difficulty is also an opportunity to draw closer to Him. In Ephesians 6:12 we read, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places." This reminds us that many of our struggles are not merely physical or emotional. They are spiritual, and they require spiritual weapons. Accepting that we are in the midst of a battle should not bring fear, but preparation. Recognizing it allows us to seek God's protection, guidance, and strength instead of relying only on our human ability. When we understand this, our perspective shifts. We stop feeling like victims and begin to act with faith, confidence, and determination. Today, I want to invite you to look at your life with honesty. Identify your battles, but don't focus on the enemy. Focus on the one who is with you. Because with God at your side, every attack loses its power, every difficulty becomes bearable, and every problem finds a solution in His perfect will. God's promises that guarantee your victory. When we talk about facing enemies, whether real or spiritual, it's essential to remember that we are never alone. God has given us promises that act as a shield and a guide in every battle of life. These promises remind us that even when circumstances are hard, He is still in control. Isaiah 41:10 tells us, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This is a powerful declaration. God doesn't just promise to be with us. He promises to strengthen and sustain us. Other verses reinforce this truth. In Romans 8:31 we read, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" This is a reminder that no enemy holds power when our Heavenly Father fights our battles. No one, no circumstance, no force can defeat us when we trust in Him. Victory doesn't always come immediately or in the way we expect. Sometimes God allows trials, challenges, and delays to strengthen our faith, to teach us patience, and to prepare us for something greater. But the promise remains unchanged. No one can defeat you when God is with you. It's vital to hold on to these promises daily. Repeat them, meditate on them, and remember them in moments of fear or doubt. Doing this strengthens both mind and spirit. It helps us see beyond the problem, fix our eyes on God, and walk with confidence, even when the enemy looks strong. Remember this: every time fear rises, every time doubt creeps in, you have an arsenal of divine promises that guarantee your victory. With God by your side, defeat is not an option. Biblical examples of people who overcame with God. The Bible is full of stories of men and women who faced giants, enemies, and impossible circumstances, and yet came out victorious because God was with them. These accounts are not just historical events. They are living examples of what happens when we trust Him completely. A powerful example is David and Goliath. David was a young shepherd standing before a giant seasoned in battle. From a human perspective, he had no chance. But his faith was stronger than his fear. You come to me with a sword, with a spear, and with a javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts. 1 Samuel 17:45. With God at his side, David defeated the giant and became an eternal symbol of victory against the impossible. Another example is Daniel in the lion's den. Daniel faced what seemed like a death sentence, a decree that condemned him for continuing to worship God. Yet his faithfulness and trust in the Lord protected him, and God shut the mouths of the lions, showing that no enemy can prevail when you put your trust in Him. Daniel 6:22. We also see the story of Joseph, sold as a slave by his own brothers and unjustly thrown into prison. Despite betrayal and hardship, Joseph never stopped trusting in God. In the end, God raised him to the highest position in Egypt, proving that even the plans of our enemies can be used to accomplish His will and bring blessing. These stories teach us that no matter how great the challenges, God always has the final word. What seems impossible to us is never impossible for Him. Our task is to keep the faith, to obey, and to trust even when we don't understand the whole plan. Remember, if God is with you, it doesn't matter how great your enemy is. The victory is already guaranteed. These stories are living proof that trusting in Him transforms defeat into triumph and despair into hope. How to apply this truth in your personal battles? Knowing that God is with you and that no enemy can defeat you is powerful. A true transformation happens when you apply that truth in your daily life. It's not enough to understand it. We must live it out in faith and action. First, identify your current battles. Are they family conflicts, problems at work, or inner struggles with fear or anxiety? Recognizing the enemy is the first step to facing the situation with clarity and purpose. Second, replace worry with prayer. Every time fear or doubt rises up, bring your burdens to God in prayer. Prayer not only strengthens your spirit, it also opens the way for His peace and protection to flow into your life. Philippians 4:6-7 reminds us, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus." Third, declare God's truth over your life. Speak with faith. Lord, no enemy can defeat me. You fight for me and give me victory. Words filled with faith reinforce our trust and align us with His promises. Fourth, maintain an attitude of obedience and gratitude. Even when the battle is hard, obeying God's direction and giving thanks in the midst of the struggle strengthens your spirit and proves that your trust is fully in His power. Finally, surround yourself with spiritual support. Seek counsel from people with strong faith, share your struggles, and allow them to pray with you. A community strengthened in God multiplies faith and reminds us that we are never alone. Remember, victory does not depend on your strength, but on your faith in God. Every step you take trusting Him, every decision rooted in His Word, and every sincere prayer draws you closer to the victory He has already promised. Faith as a shield in the midst of attacks asterisk in life. Attacks can be visible or invisible, big or small, but they always impact our mind, heart, and spirit. In those moments, we need a powerful shield. Faith. Ephesians 6:16 tells us, above all, take the shield of faith with which you will be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked one. Faith is not just believing that God exists. It's trusting in His protection and His guidance, even when circumstances seem to go against us. Faith acts as a shield because it enables us to face hard situations without being crushed by fear, doubt, or anxiety. It helps us stay calm when problems surround us, gives us clarity to make the right decisions, and reminds us that God is fighting our battles. Think of the biblical heroes. David before Goliath, Daniel in the lion's den, Joseph in prison. All of them used faith as a shield, trusting that God was in control, even when the situation seemed impossible. Their victory didn't come from their own strength, but from their faith in God. In practice, strengthening your faith requires daily action, reading the Bible, meditating on God's promises, praying consistently, and declaring His Word over your life. Every small act of trust strengthens your shield, making you resilient against any attack. Remember, faith doesn't remove problems, but it gives you the strength to face them and come out victorious. When your faith is firm, no enemy can bring you down. God is with you, fighting every battle and guiding every step toward victory. The power of prayer and intimacy with God asterisk. Prayer is not just about asking for things. It is a powerful tool that connects us directly to the heart of God, strengthens us, and guides us in the midst of any attack. Intimacy with Him allows us to hear His voice, receive direction, and feel His constant protection. Jesus Himself taught us in Matthew 6:6, "But you, when you pray, go into your room, and when you have shut the door, pray to your Father who is in secret. And your Father, who sees in secret, will reward you openly." Intimate, sincere, and consistent prayer strengthens our spirit and aligns us with the will of God, causing the enemies to lose power over our lives. Praying also means declaring God's truth over our situation. Instead of focusing on the problem, we lift our voice in faith, saying, "Lord, you fight for me. No enemy can defeat me because you are with me." These words not only reinforce our faith, but they also activate the presence of God in our lives. In addition, daily prayer strengthens our relationship with God. It is not only a shield against attacks, but also a channel to receive wisdom, peace, and confidence. When we talk with Him, we also learn to listen to His guidance, to recognize His voice, and to act with certainty in our decisions. Remember, a life of constant prayer transforms weakness into strength and fear into confidence. Intimacy with God is the key to facing any enemy without fear, because we do not fight alone. We have the Creator of the universe by our side, guiding every step and securing the victory. Today we have walked through a deep journey. We understood that with God by your side, no enemy can defeat you. We examined the battles of life, the promises that assure us of victory, biblical examples that inspire us, how to apply this truth in our daily lives, the power of faith as a shield, and the transforming strength of prayer and intimacy with God. Remember that it does not matter how great your enemy is, nor how difficult the situation may seem. If you walk with God, your victory is guaranteed. The key is to live each day with faith, obedience, gratitude, and constant connection with Him. Every action, every decision based on His Word strengthens your spirit and brings you closer to the blessing He has prepared for you. Today, I invite you to make a commitment to yourself. Trust fully, pray without ceasing, declare God's truth over your life, and remain firm in the face of any challenge. Do it even when you don't see immediate results, because victory does not depend on your strength, but on the faithfulness and power of God. If this message touched your heart, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more teachings that transform lives, and share this content with someone who needs to hear these words today. Also, I invite you to watch our next video, where we will go deeper into how to keep this faith firm and constant in the midst of every trial. Never forget, with God by your side, no enemy can defeat you. He fights your battles, guides your steps, and secures your victory. Trust in Him, remain firm, and you will see how everything around you begins to change in a surprising and miraculous way. May the peace and blessing of God be with you every day.